Thank you for all for joining our Unlock Efficiency and Innovation webinar today as we explore Rhapsody solution enhancements. I'm your moderator, Dan Rice, and I'm fortunate to have with me today two subject matter experts to speak to the topics at hand. Neither are a stranger to this webinar series. Drew Ivan, Chief Strategy Officer here at Rhapsody, and Lynn Stoltz, Senior Product Manager for our Identity Solutions. Thank you both for joining. Some great stuff to talk about. Housekeeping, first, a few logistical reminders. This is a live session. It's being recorded, and anyone who registered for this event will receive a link to the recording within 24 hours. And while the lines are muted for all the participants, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer all those questions during the session, but if not, reach out to you afterwards. So let's jump right into the exciting agenda we have today. First, there's really two things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about enabling your digital health innovation goals. And we at Rhapsody take this responsibility very seriously. We partner with many of you on the call already. And Drew is going to lead us in this part of the discussion and detail for us at a high level Rhapsody's approach. And in the remaining time we have, we're going to talk about what's new in our solution enhancements that can help empower you to do more. And you'll hopefully be able to take some of what Drew and he has to say in his thoughts and see how we're putting them into action. And Lynn's going to share a few of those enhancements, including a little bit about how you'll see AI incorporated in Rhapsody solutions in the future. And of course, ways Rhapsody can have a significant role as you continue to advance health equity and impact your operational efficiencies. Drew, let's begin with you. Earlier this month, customers chose Rhapsody and CorePoint first and second in class's annual rankings for integration engines. Incredible accomplishment. I know we're proud of. We really appreciate our great customers, and it makes it really easy for me in marketing when I talk to people all the time that are just thrilled to be a part in using these products and services. But can you share with us what earning means, earning best in class for the 15th straight year means from your perspective?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. For the category of integration engines, CorePoint was selected by our customers to be #1 in class for the 15th year in a row, and Rhapsody was #2. So we took the top 2 spots. So thanks to all of our customers who responded to the class survey. It's been almost 5 years since we merged Rhapsody and CorePoint, and we faced a lot of questions at the time and since then about whether we could maintain the momentum of investing in both engines and keeping the customer satisfaction scores as high as they had been historically. And after 5 years, I think we have answered that question. We have an unbroken streak of #1 in class. So that's to everyone's credit. It's a huge focus of ours. It's important to us, and so we're proud of it and thankful to our customers for giving us this award. We've extended our same customer service to other products, and so that's what we'll talk about on the next slide is the portfolio of products that we've put together that constitute our digital health enablement platform. And it's a little bit of a new name, Digital Health Enablement Platform, but it does what the name suggests, which is makes it possible to deploy digital health solutions. What we found is that there are a number of systems of record deployed out there in provider organizations. These include electronic health records, CRMs, claim systems, all sorts of sources of data, and those solutions that generate the data are systems of record that are very important to the healthcare providers. But in order to enhance their patient experiences and improve population health, in their pursuit of the quintuple aim, providers are deploying a new generation of digital health apps that need to take advantage of the data that's generated in those systems of record, and then do something novel and valuable as part of the digital health experience, generate insights or activities or new pieces of data that need to be pushed back into those systems of record. in front of the clinicians in the systems that they work in on a day-to-day basis. So you have this need of moving data back and forth between the digital health apps and the systems of record, but there's not a direct connection, and there's a gap there. We call it the data gap. And on the next slide, we show that that's exactly where the digital health enablement platform fits. This is a suite of tools that we've pulled together, and we've listed them there. The integration box represents the CorePoint and Rhapsody engines that we talked about as being at the top of their category in class. The identity product is focused on managing person identities so that we know who the data is about. And Lynn's going to talk in depth about our newest release of the identity product. And then the semantic product helps manage the codified data so that we understand what the data is about. So translating between and among code sets, validating data against standard code sets. These are all things that we handle in the semantic layer. And then, of course, we store the data in a Fire server or in a database that our customers provide, expose that data through APIs, and we can even package workflows into API-based services that we expose. So this layer is what we call the digital health enablement platform, and we see it as being critical to making that connection between the existing systems of record that we're calling data sources on this diagram, and the new generation of digital health apps that's in the purple layer there. So just quickly on the next slide, we have a little bit different view of the same thing, which is to show the main components of our digital health enablement platform in a little bit more detail. These are really the pieces of the puzzle that come together to form the core of our portfolio. And this is really the way we're thinking about our portfolio going forward. As many of our customers know, we grew our company, our organization, by bringing together different companies that each had specific capabilities. First Rhapsody and CorePoint, and then the identity and semantic products. And we've pulled them all together under one roof, but we're at a point now where we think that they're functioning as a platform rather than as individual products. And so we're excited about that way of thinking about our products going forward. And with that, I think I'll turn it back to Dan to talk a little bit more detail, and then on to Lynn.
Awesome, thanks, Drew. And thanks for giving us a little bit of highlights on the digital health enablement platform. And before we transition to some specific product enhancements that Lynn's going to tell us about, let's touch just for a minute on unlocking efficiencies in general. So for many of you in attendance today, the question may often come up in internal conversations: where can I create those additional efficiencies? There's a lot of challenges of cost and budget requirements and staffing shortages. Where do I come up with those additional efficiencies? How do I impact the cost of care if I'm in healthcare delivery? How do I positively impact the bottom line if I'm in health tech? And at Rhapsody, we're hyper-focused on creating and advancing tools to help you do just that and help you enable that smart digital health innovation that we've been talking about. And the next few examples are just going to illustrate some of that economic value that comes straight from our customer case studies or available information that we know about the market. So for instance, customers can see up to $100,000 a year or more in cost savings with faster interface development, often 2 or 3 times faster than the status quo. It seems to be a reoccurring theme when we talk to customers post-implementation with the integration engines over the years. And it doesn't really stop there. That's just a starting point. So that's straight from a case study, and that was about just simplifying management of interfaces. But in others, we've seen Rhapsody fuel prioritization of work, maybe in other areas of IT. And then in other cases, we've seen eliminating after-hours work that really wasn't necessary once everything was tied together. And then even fueling dashboards to create efficiencies in clinical workflows. And I would just pause to encourage anyone on the call that already has CorePoint, or you already have Rhapsody integration engine, and you see the need to create these additional efficiencies. Let's take a look at some of your operational workflows together. Anywhere where there's manual interaction to make something happen, especially those high volume workflows, and see how we can produce additional process automation together through better integration. But then we get to the exciting things. When we talk about on the topic of analytics, we know that data scientists can spend up to 80% of their time doing manual data cleansing. And we want to give that time back to them so that they can focus on what they're there for. So the data scientists can focus on data science. And recently I talked to someone that's in data science, and he had spent an enormous amount of time just trying to fix manually billing issues and pulling information manually. And that's obviously not the kinds of things they're there for most of the time. They've got bigger objectives, bigger initiatives to go after. So let's help them get back to data science with Semantic. And one of the exciting things about Rhapsody Semantic, with Rhapsody 7.3, it's easier than ever to connect to that. You can use that built-in connector in Rhapsody 7.3 and have direct access to Semantic. And that's some of what Drew's talking about how these things are starting to work closer and closer together and make it easier for you to enjoy those advantages of the digital health enablement platform. And then the last item I had, straight from a case study again, about being able to reduce costs by 90% or more in resolving duplicate patient records. And this one was taken from the Geisinger case study, I believe, but it's really impressive of what we were able to do there. And Lynn, I think about 90% reduction and that reducing that data stewardship work, that's pretty exciting, but I know your team, the identity team, has been working on some recent developments and recent enhancements to make this even better. Can you talk to what we are doing to solve identity problems from your standpoint, and what are the next milestones that you see where we can make an even greater impact?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Dan, for setting the stage there. So as I go into this, I want to start by just setting the stage and talking about what identity management is and what an Enterprise Master Person Index does. So as Drew said earlier, there's an abundance of data that needs to be connected together across the healthcare enterprise. And we've heard metrics across the industry that the healthcare space is creating the most data and generating the most across any industry across the world. And so in the coming years, this is going to continue to increase exponentially, and connecting that data is going to be increasingly important. But what's really foundational to connecting that data is to ensuring the data is being connected for the right person and having one definitive identity for each person that data is being connected for. And that's really what identity management is all about. That's what the Rhapsody EMPI, or Enterprise Master Person Index, is doing. So I want to start today by discussing a few just challenges of not connecting data for the right person, not identifying that right person, and how you may experience some of those challenges and the value that an EMPI product could provide for you. Once I start with those challenges, then I'm going to talk about a few features that we've recently released that are really focused on driving efficiencies for our customers. And then at the end, like was introduced earlier, we're going to have a really big announcement about how AI is helping drive forward these initiatives. So to start, around challenges of not connecting data for the right person. No matter where you sit within the healthcare space, there's a challenge you're experiencing around connecting data to the right person. So if you're in healthcare delivery, if data is not being connected to the right record or the right person, then that will have negative impacts on clinical decision making, on providers being able to deliver appropriate care for that person. If you're in value-based care, not having one single record for a person and disparate data could increase costs of care by requiring duplicate or unnecessary tests for that person. So across healthcare delivery, some of the value that is provided by an Enterprise Master Person Index is enhancing patient engagement, making your patients feel seen, feel known, ensuring the best clinical care decisions are made. And there are metrics across the industry that up to 90% of denied claims are because of incorrect data or missing data. And so having that central identity and knowing that person will increase your approved claims as well. Maybe you're in the public health space and there are statistics and data for people and many data sets and registries that need to be connected. And that's really important to knowing that person and where they are across those different data sets. Or maybe you're in the healthcare technology space and you're creating solutions and products to solve some of these problems in the healthcare delivery space. There we've seen that some customers and prospects are coming to us and are trying to solve this identity management problem themselves. And that's really distracting them from being able to provide value to their customers. Your customers are expecting to receive the value of your product associated to the right person, and you really have to do this well. But it's really difficult to create new value while trying to do that yourself. So what we've been able to do is partner along with these companies. We've been able to pass along the value of a best-in-breed EMPI and those identity management capabilities, so you can serve your customers well and deliver that value to them, as well as all the new value and enhancements that your teams can create when you're laser focused on your goals and moving forward your product. So with that, I want to move forward, and now that I've talked about some of the challenges, I want to talk about some of our new features and enhancements that we've released recently that really drive forward efficiencies for our customers. So first here, I'm going to talk about health equity. We've heard over the last years that health equity and driving forward health equity initiatives is increasingly important for our customers. But one of the big roadblocks to this is gathering the right data and connecting that data to the right person. And so what we're trying to do here is really take some of that social determinants of health data, connect it to the right person and associate it to the area where they're living, and then allow it to be easily disseminated across the healthcare enterprise, so you can use that data wherever you need to be able to drive those health equity initiatives forward. And the way we've done that is we've tried to incorporate a few different ways to gather that info and disseminate that info to make it easy for you to use. So you can see here we've surfaced this social vulnerability data in the UI, so you can see how this may affect a person and how it may affect their health. We have customers using this to prioritize care, determine which patients may need care first. We've also surfaced this information available via APIs, so you can gather that data and send it wherever across your enterprise and solutions that you need to take a look at that information. And we also are associating this data to that person via our outbound notifications. And so this means that anytime data is being updated and being sent downstream, this is associated to that person, and all data across the enterprise is connected and also updated and kept up to date in real time. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about technical efficiency. So one of the big things we focused on this year was driving towards containerization for our product. And what this does is drives technical efficiencies in simplifying provisioning, simplifying scaling, simplifying the upgrading and patching processes. And we are really excited to see this implemented with our customers and be able to drive efficiencies technically for them. And then our third feature that I wanted to talk about is our new dashboard. So with this is driving analytics and being able to see the state of your data across your enterprise, and also the value the EMPI is providing every day. So this really visualizes the automation and the value that the EMPI is completing for you, that your people aren't having to take a look at, aren't having to manually evaluate. This is also going to show you where there are peaks and valleys in your data, where there are spikes in duplication, where you can really hone in on what you need to be working on and what your team needs to be focusing on to drive operational efficiencies across your teams. So when it comes to operational efficiencies, we've created this dashboard. We're also working with customers to create additional dashboards and analytics that are really continuing to hone in and drive those operational efficiencies and ensure we're surfacing all the data necessary to be as efficient as possible, working in our UI and our product, but also in that data. And then finally, we have a big announcement that I wanted to talk about, which is really around driving efficiency in your operations using AI. So we are calling this Rhapsody Autopilot. And what the value of this is to use AI to automate resolution of data quality tasks. And what this can do is mirror human decision making to resolve those duplicate tasks that maybe humans would be completing today or maybe aren't getting completed at all. This can be trained on your data, your matching guidelines, your enterprise, and it can, through testing, we found that it can achieve consistent decisions 98% of the time. So this is trained on your decisions, your guidelines, and it remains in that way, and it makes those decisions 98% of the time. And we found that humans only align 72 to 92% of the time. So it's matching even more consistently and making decisions even more consistently than a human could, as well as in a more efficient manner. So again, we've tested this with customers, and we've evaluated over 2 million records in less than 80 minutes. Typically, this would take a human data steward 50,000 hours to look at the records, compare the data, and be able to make a decision. So this is really driving efficiencies, automating what your data stewards are doing today, and able to take any data quality initiatives that you have and drive them forward significantly. Dan, I'll pass it off to you to give them more information about how to hear more about this and how to talk more with us about this.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks, Lynn. That's super exciting. I can't wait to see the demo myself and see more about how it's helping our customers and getting into customer conversations. And you can kind of see a common theme with all the things we've talked about already today. It's driving those efficiencies, whether it be integration, whether it be semantic, and of course identity here, just some enormous advantages and evolution of what it can do now. Drew, you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, we're very excited to start bringing AI into our digital health enablement platform. A lot of what we do in terms of connecting systems to one another is specialized work that requires a human touch. But there's also a lot of repeatable work, and the promise of AI is that we can take a lot of that redundant work off of the human's agenda and turn it into something that happens very quickly and with high accuracy through artificial intelligence, so that the humans can focus on the really hard parts of the task. And so that's what we're looking for going forward, is how do we build those efficiencies into our software to make our users even more productive than they are today.
Thank you, Drew, for that, and thank you, Lynn, for the insights today. Are there any questions in the chat? If there are not, I don't think there are at the moment, please feel free to drop in a question. I know we've covered a lot of ground today. And one of the things that Lynn alluded to a moment ago, we will be at HIMSS. We'll be on the show floor March 12th through 14th. And if you're there, we please encourage you to come by. You can see a live demo of any of our solutions, including Rhapsody Autopilot that Lynn just spoke about. And you can meet with your Rhapsody team, whether it be our new CEO, other Rhapsody leadership such as Drew, your account managers, product managers such as Lynn will be there. And I'd ask you, certainly drop by, ad hoc, just drop by if you're walking by and say, hey, but if you want to dedicate some time, let's dig into how this relates to you and how we can help and brainstorm how we're going to solve these problems together. Just feel free to scan that QR code there to request a meeting at HIMSS, and that'll give us the most dedicated time. We can block off a room, or we can block off a demo station to talk and work with you in that regard. So I don't think we have any questions. Any other comments from the panelists? All right, well, thank you so much. There will be a recording shared in the follow-up email after the call. So if you joined late, and for those that had to exit early, you'll be able to watch the recording, and there'll also be a link for scheduling a meeting if you want to dig deeper into any of these topics and how it relates to you in a future meeting or at HIMSS. So thank you again. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.